Welcome back to Test Drive. Today I'm in a 26 Kia Carnival EX. We did part one of the video where we walked around the exterior of the vehicle, and we also did the back seats and the trunk. If you want to check out that video, link is in the description. Otherwise, we're going to continue on with our test drive with the front seats and take this vehicle on the road. I'm just going to hit the engine start stop button with my foot on the brake. What you'll notice up here, we have a 12.3 inch infotainment screen with navigation. We have our phone and our radio and our navigation up there right now. This vehicle has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It is wireless, so that's pretty nice. The EX trim level does give you a wireless phone charger up here as well. No wires getting in your way up here, but if you would want to charge your device, let's look down here real quick. You actually have two USB-Cs up here and a 12-volt charger hidden in there. So lots of ways that you can charge your devices if you don't do the wireless. Let's go back to this infotainment screen. I'm just going to scroll over here to the right. We have our phone projection. You can leave yourself voice memos. And check this out. We have passenger view on here. So I'm just going to hit that. And you can see our cameraman Alex in the back hanging out and getting the good over-the-shoulder angles that you guys love. But you know, obviously you can see everybody there in the third row and the second row and all that stuff. So really cool to have that there. And I'm going to come back down here to the controls for that, right? Because we do have different things that we can select up here. I can bring up the maps all down here. But Kia has kind of revolutionized the way that their buttons work here. So if I want to, you know, do my volume, I can do that there. That's what this button is for. If I hit this button, now all these buttons become our AC controls. So there's a lot of different ways that you can have things up here. You can have your media or your AC controls. Coming back to the steering wheel, let's take a look at that real quick, because we have a lot of buttons here. We have our push to talk button, so you can push that for your Google services or your Apple phone. If you have Siri, you also have a mode button here, and that's going to allow you to program something into that button. So you can, you know, whatever audio settings you want to go into and change there, you can add that to your mode button. It looks like there's some other customizable buttons that you can do with that as well. So that's cool. There's also a star button down there that'll let you do that as well. You have your volume buttons here, and if I hit up and down, that's going to allow you to scroll through your radio stations. You also have your phone button. On the right side of the steering wheel, though, we have a button right here that's going to allow me to change what's in the center of my instrument cluster. So I'm going to take a look at that real quick. I can have a compass up there. I can have my safety features. I can have my tire pressure, a trip meter. You also have on the right side here a lot of different features for your safety features. So you have your smart cruise control settings there. It looks like you can switch between your cruise control settings there as well. You have your gap adjustment right here, and you have your lane keep assist. So we'll test those out on the test drive. You have your automatic shifter, two cup holders, electronic parking brake, and we have our drive mode buttons. Let's check that out. So we have different drive modes on this vehicle. If I hit that button, it switches between normal, sport, smart, and eco. So we'll test out the difference between normal and sport. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty interesting on this. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate auto hold, since the button's right there. I'm going to put the vehicle into drive, and while I have my seatbelt on and that's doing that, we also have my foot on the brake, and that's going to bring up auto hold. I take my foot off of the brake, and now we're not going anywhere, right? I'm stopped. If this is stop and go traffic, I don't have to worry about, you know, coasting into the car in front of me or anything like that. I just hit the accelerator and we're going to go. And we'll go until I hit the brake again and we come to a complete stop. Auto hold's going to come up on the dashboard again, and I can take my foot off the brake. This just alleviates some of that stop and go annoyance that, you know, if you're in a lot of traffic, it's just going to really save your foot and save your muscles from having to, you know, tighten up for that length of time. So really cool feature to have. I really enjoy it on my vehicle. We also have a row of buttons right here. We have heated seats for the driver and the passenger up front. We have our parking sensors, and if I hit that, it's going to bring up our parking camera. I'm going to check out what kind of space we have in this armrest. And man, we have a ton of space in here. Something else I didn't point out in the first video, there's actually USB-C fast charging ports on the back of the passenger and driver seats for the people in the back seat, or the people in the front seat. But you also have buttons for the front passenger seat. You can slide that forward and back automatically, and you can do that from the back seat. So if you have those back seat passengers, it's definitely really cool to be able to get a little bit extra space up there without getting out of the vehicle. Putting the vehicle into reverse. When I do that, we have a huge backup camera here, and guys, let's face it, that is tremendous, and it's really good quality. Whenever I turn the wheel, the projected angles change there. We have a sensor view on the right side. It's kind of showing you how far away you are from things. Closer you get to something, the more it's going to beep. That's really great. You can get a nice big wide view or a straight down view. We also have those sensors in the front of the vehicle, so whenever I get close to something in the front, you can actually hear it. And I see it here on my dashboard. So that's something that's really nice. It's looking out for you forward as well as backwards. So let's say you're at a busy parking lot situation, you're in reverse, and a vehicle's coming up behind you. This is looking out for you with the cross traffic monitor. It's telling you what direction they're coming from there with the arrows. And another thing it's doing is vibrating my steering wheel. So there's so many different ways that you're being alerted. So we're gonna check out, this has a V6 engine in it, 3.5 liter. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out onto the highway in normal mode from a complete stop. And here we go. All right, well, that got us up to speed very smoothly. I definitely felt like there wasn't much of a struggle there. If I were to switch this over into sport mode, we're just gonna hear the difference here, right? The second that I did that, I felt the shifting points change. All right, you can hear that engine more while I'm hitting the accelerator. I definitely feel like the steering kind of tightened up there. So definitely some different driving mechanics while you're driving this thing. If you're driving a van, more than likely you're not trying to race it, but it's just kind of cool if that's kind of your thing. I just activated the lane keep assist, and what that's going to do, if I just inch over here to the right side of the lane, you're going to notice that it's registering the lines on the road, and it's kind of pinballing us between the lines of the road, just keeping us safe, keeping us within the lines. It's great. This is a minivan. You might be going on long trips in this thing, and to have that little bit of assurance, and maybe your attention's not exactly on the road at all times, unfortunately, stuff happens. But with lane keep assist, that's just going to keep you straight in the lane, and you're not going to have to worry about that deviation. So right now I went ahead and activated the adaptive cruise control, and what this has done is registered the vehicle in front of me and slowed me to the speed that they are going. I can bridge the gap between me and that vehicle in front of me, or I can distance that gap up to a limit here. And what this is doing now, they're coming down to a stop here at this light, and I'm just monitoring, just making sure that the vehicle is coming down to a complete stop, which it is doing. And if they would come down to a complete stop, we would too here. Once we hit that distance, they're not completely stopping, so it's kicking us up and keeping us at the distance that I have set and keeping us safe, and we're not going to bump into them. You're going to notice somebody coming up in my blind spot. That's going to light up that mirror you're going to see there. Whenever somebody's over there and I turn on my turn signal, that's now flashing at me, it's beeping at me, and it's vibrating my steering wheel telling me, hey, don't go over there, you're going to crash if you do. So another great way that this vehicle is looking out for you, especially with it being a longer, boxier vehicle. I have great visibility in here, but things can get in your way. I got a cameraman in my back seat. Imagine if you have kids back there, you can have a little bit of distractions around you. So just really great to have that. All right, now here's the true test, right? A minivan is a longer vehicle. Will it make the U-turn, right? And yeah, there's no problem there. This has the handling of a smaller vehicle for sure. I feel like the ride quality and the sound quality in here is pretty darn good. If you have any questions about this vehicle, leave it in the comment section below. We'll make sure to get back to you. I can ask a professional salesperson if I don't know the answer. We got tons of them here that are eager to help. And if you want to check out the Kia Carnival, come see us. We're right off Route 30 in Greensburg, PA, or visit us online at smailkia.com. That's going to do it for our test drive. So until next time, enjoy the ride.